This is the first try of Cottage Garden Algebra Homework Help. Yay, Andrew! All right, if you want to talk, unmute yourself, or there should be a chat box, which I'm still trying to find. Ah, Andrew found it. Hey, Cole. You do not have to have your message up. If you want to turn off video and even mute yourself, you can do that, and then just type in the chat box. Because I know some of us may have background noise, so you're welcome to turn off your audio. All right, we'll go ahead and get started, and if anybody else joins in, they can see. So we'll try this. First off, who has questions? Is there anything that you stumbled over? Has everybody done with all their homework?
I wish.
All right, well, how far are you? Do you want to just work out some of the harder problems on a worksheet that you haven't done?
Well, I pretty much made it through the whole thing. I just have to finish like 5C, but I made it to the back. I was just on systematic review, so I think I'm pretty good.
Okay.
Some of the questions, it was like in the first quadrant, X is blank and Y is blank. I would get the wording of the question was a little bit, it kind of threw me off a little bit.
Okay. Did you see in the back, it's really just asking if they're positive or negative, I'm assuming. I didn't check the answers, but.
I got my mom and she looked at it, but that was pretty much all I had trouble with.
I got books on one side and writing pad on the other, so now I probably shouldn't leave my video up. Guys watching me. All right, so what are some ones that you've done? Do you want me to work any out? Anybody? There's a weird history question. Oh.
I was thinking that too. I was like, why is there a history question?
Huh. Where was that? Is it an honors one?
No, it was just on the...
Yeah, I wrote it down. I don't know why I wasn't using my mic. I honestly forgot I had it. I wrote it down somewhere.
I was very thrown off.
I don't see it yet.
I think it was 5A17.
Okay, let me see.
So there were several questions. There's like 3 questions in all, I think.
Oh.
And then number 7 on 5C was one too.
Okay, I see it on 5A. Yeah, I mean, the answers are to show algebra geometrically, right? Yeah. Just to be able to show pictures of all the algebra that you're doing. I guess that should have been something I taught in the lesson, but whoops. I don't know. Some of those, you know, it makes sense when you think about it, but it's not super important to the lesson, I guess.
Yeah, it throws you off when you're like math. History?
Well, it's trying to show you the reason why we do this. Why do we graph things?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can see it visually, and then you can work it out numerically.
It was funny because like one page asked his last name and then the next page told it in their question. It was weird. It was like, what's this person's last name? And the next page was like, what was Descartes' favorite? Or no, like, well, it was weird.
Right, you can use those two questions together to answer them, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did.
Smart kids.
Well, we sure try.
All right, so I got to work out something. Anybody? But what haven't you done yet?
I've done everything already, honestly, except for I haven't done H yet.
Oh.
My dad said I have to do H this time, which is kind of sad.
This
Last
is very
time I didn't have to, so.
I think I decided to count each problem in the honors that you get right will be 1 point on your test.
Okay.
So I can really, and I don't, in the end, the averaging, it won't matter which test it is, but I'll put it on whatever test you like. So.
Okay.
Is everybody reading the review boxes, the stuff in gray on your papers?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless it explains it really weird and I know a much easier way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine too, as long as you're getting it.
Yeah.
All right, well, I thought we were going to have at least one more person, but
Cole texted. Not texted. He not texted. In the group chat.
yeah, I see Cole's here.
Life.
I can see who's here. I thought Luke was coming, but
I really Sarah was just coming. I just showed up.
you're like, I didn't really want to do math. I just came.
Yeah.
I was just going to listen and see if somebody said something and I thought, oh, that's a good question.
Well, man, if nobody has questions, what am I supposed to do? Throw out one you haven't done yet.
Here, let me. Oh. Most of it is review.
That's okay. We can do a review one.
So, here, let me find a harder one. Oh, I can't think of any. Okay.
Is it that you're so far ahead in your homework that you've done all of it?
Well, no, it was just some of it. I did it kind of at different times. 4A, I did 4A and then 5, like all of 4 and then 5 at different times.
Sure. So I had my mic on last week question.
All right. Cole, do you have any that you haven't finished? Throw me out a problem.
I know. I can almost hear it.
I just don't know which ones are going to be harder, things that you want to look at.
I mean, some of it I know how to do. It's just, it's.
Okay, sorry. I couldn't figure out how to get the thingy to work. Yeah, I've done most of the problems.
Okay, was there anything you haven't done?
Can you say that last part again? I couldn't hear you.
Anything you haven't done that you want to go over? I mean, what worksheet did you stop at?
Sorry, can you say that again? Like your voice keeps on like glitching.
Which worksheet did you stop working at? Which one have you not finished?
Let me look real quick. Hang on, I'm looking.
Okay.
One more thing, I forgot. It said like in the I think it was in well actually I think it was all of the chapter 5. 21 weren't the teacher. Not that I look at the teacher's manual. My dad told me so. Because like he told me he wrote down some stuff I might ask. Like about the lesson. So for some reason it wasn't in like the teacher manual.
Okay, which one was it?
21 through 4, if I'm not wrong, weren't in the teacher manual. Like on 5A. And I think some of the others too. It was like the plotting lines. Where it was like you circled and drew a line, kind of.
Okay, well, I have them in mine, so I think they should have been sent out on the email.
Huh. Okay. Because like we got a teacher's manual from Jacob Gaines that was in the class last year. For some reason it wasn't in there. I don't know if it was outdated or something, but I don't think it was.
Yeah, it may be that it was hard. I mean, for the most part, they've been using the same books for a long time, but there's just a few differences in the older versions.
Yeah, it might have been on the other page or something.
I have one problem that not necessarily I don't know how to do. I just haven't done yet. It was 15C, and it was number 15. If you want to do that, since you're dying for something to do.
I am. Okay, numbers 15 on 5C. Okay, I'm going to stop my video and then share my screen. So hopefully you guys will see this. You should still be able to hear me. We'll see if I can do this. Okay, you see a white screen?
Yeah, I do.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, here we go. So 2 4/7 minus 1/4 Q equal to negative 5 2/3. Is this the one?
Yes.
Well, okay. The easiest thing would be to get that common denominator for everything. I know another one that they did, once you get the common denominator, if you multiply that number through everything, then it will get rid of all of the fractions, which is easier to deal with. So what is the lowest common multiple between 7, 4, and 3? And I'm thinking hard.
I know.
21? No.
Okay, so 3 is 3 and 1. Well, I guess you don't need the 3. Or the 1, sorry. 4 is 2 and 2, and then 7 is just 7. There's nothing in common, so you are actually just multiplying all of them together. So it's a big number. And I didn't bring a calculator in here. Let's see. It would be 12 times 7, right? 3 times 4 times 7.
It's 84.
Yeah, 84. Okay, so then if you just multiply, and I like to put parentheses around everything. Hold on. Okay, so if I put parentheses around absolutely everything, and then I multiply all of it by 84. So ignore all this over here. Okay, and so then you're going to multiply 2 times 84. Wait, no. You need to get these fractions into improper fractions, not mixed numbers. So 7 times 2 is 14 plus 4. So instead of 2 and 4/7, we're going to have 18 sevenths.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one stays the same because it's already a fraction. Sorry, it's hard to write on this. And then 15, I do have a writing pad that I'm writing on, but it's still a computer screen. Okay, so 15 plus 2 is 17 thirds. Now multiply all of this by 84. And when you do that, you're going to have to think of, okay, 7 goes into 84 12 times. So we cancel the 7, or maybe if I write it over here, I can do it a little bit better. So this can become 12, and this will cancel. So now we have 12 times 18 in the top.
Mm-hmm.
So 216. I mean, these are getting kind of ugly numbers. And then you have to go back to 84 again when you do it times 4. So you cancel that, and it would be 21 times the 1. So just minus 21q. And then over here, 84, and you're going to divide out that 3, and you're left with 28. So then 28 times 17, 476. Make sure throughout this whole thing that you're keeping your negatives where they need to be. Now, we just have big numbers, but we don't have fractions. So a little bit better. Move the 216 over, so subtract it from this side, subtract it over here. You get negative 692 is equal to negative 21q, and then you're going to divide by the negative 21. And that's not a whole number at all. Did I do
I've had lots that aren't whole numbers.
15 on 5C. I just want to double check. Yep. Okay, so the negatives cancel out, so at least it's positive. So Q is equal to this. If you divide this out, you can get 32 out of it, and then you'll have 20 for your remainder. And so you put that over 21. There's my very ugly work.
You can read it.
All right, I'm trying to get my chat box up, and I lost it. That's okay. You guys are all here. I hear you, so. All right, anything else?
No, I think I got it for the most part.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, does anybody, anything you want me to do?
No, ma'am.
Do you feel like having a help partway through the week would be good in the future? This one was just a little late.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
feel like if
preview.
we had done this earlier.
Yes.
So like Tuesday after a Monday class, maybe?
Maybe not that early. Maybe like,
Yeah, like Wednesday.
yeah, Wednesday or Thursday. Maybe not Thursday. Around, I don't know.
I think Wednesday. Okay, we'll
Yeah.
poll everybody on Monday when we have class. I am good as long as we do it starting at 8 or later. But yeah, I just can't do much earlier.
Yeah, on Wednesdays it'll have to be probably a little bit later than 8 because of church. But
Yeah, because I also have church and it ends at 8.
Okay.
yeah, mine's it. But I could do it on Wednesday. Just it'd have to be a little bit later.
Yes.
And I feel like as it gets harder, we'll be needing more help.
Yes.
It doesn't get any harder than this.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
I hope not.
Well, I mean, way to be positive, Cole.
Oh, there we go. I can pull up everything here. All right. It helps me to see who's talking when the green microphone lights up.
Uh-huh.
All right. So really, there's nothing else I can work out?
I don't think so.
Man, I could just start naming off a bunch of stuff, but that's stuff that I would need to do and know how to do. So.
Well, it's okay because this is going to be saved, and I know that I'm having one person text me that says they can't get on right now. So they'll see the meeting in a few minutes when it's saved. So if there's something else you want me to work out, I'm down with it. If Andrew thinks that he's good because he has it all done, he can go. We're gonna kick him out of class anyway, right?
Yeah.
So really, if there's anything that you haven't done that you look at and you're like, oh man, that's really ugly, I don't want to do that. Sure, name it. I'll do it. See, look, blank paper.
That's the scariest type of paper. Maybe we could do number 15 and 16 on 4.
Okay, say it again. 15 and 16 on 4 what?
4D.
4D, okay.
Because they're together. I didn't understand why they were doing it together. It's like a never-ending problem. You think you're done and you're not.
Oh. Okay, so 15 on, 4D?
Yes.
All right, let me label this better. 4D, number 15. Okay. The least common multiple of 4, 6, and 10. Now this one I kind of did in my head because multiples of 10 are pretty easy. So I would start with the multiple between 4, well, I guess 20 works. Anyway. Okay, maybe not. Maybe we should do it. I don't know. Do you guys like to just write out the multiples or do you factor it and multiply it that way?
Can you repeat that?
Do you like to just write out the multiples or do you prefer to have it factored and then multiply them out?
It depends on the day, I guess. I'll do it both ways.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understood the factoring thing, but I always just kind of went through the multiples and think, okay, anyway. So doing that, we know that there's 20, which would work with 4 and 10, but not 6. 30 would work with 6, but not 4. 40 would work with 4, but again, not 6. 50 wouldn't work with either, and so 60 you land on, and that works with both 4 and 6. So you could get all the way to 60. Now the reason they're asking that ahead of time is because on number 16, you have all of these in the denominator.
They're being sneaky.
Yes, so really they're actually helping you out. You have less work to do on number 16 now.
Well, you're just doing it in 2 different problems. I don't know if it's necessarily less work.
Well, okay, so we already have our least common multiple, which is going to be what the common denominator would be. And just like in the last problem, since these are now all fractions, I'm going to multiply the whole thing by 60 on, you could say on both sides. And And remember, whenever you multiply an entire equation, it needs to go to every number. So here, when I multiply by 60, I can say 4 goes into 60 15 times. So I can reduce this to 15 and take away this 4. And so then 15 times 3 is 45. And remember to carry your negative. If I do it over here, I don't know where to write it, maybe just up here. So 6 goes into 60 10 times, so I can reduce it to 10 and make that a 1. So then on top, there's a 1 times 10. So that's just a 10R. And then over here, I can reduce this to 6. So 6 times 7 is 42. Now this one is more simple to look at because nobody loves fractions except my daughter. That's because she's not in it very far. You add 45 to both sides. You have 10R is equal to 87. Divide by 10. R is equal to 8.7. All right, questions over that?
I don't think I have any questions.
Okay, I got a couple from a call-in, so I'm going to do a couple more. All right, on 4D, I was asked for number 10.
I feel like this is a case where hints can just make things confusing.
Well, it says combine like terms, which just means that we need the q's on the same side of the equation and we need the numbers without the q's on the same side of the equation. So whatever you want to start with first, I'm going to move this 9. Nope, I'm going to do the other way. I like positive numbers. So if I move the 15, I'm going to add it to both sides. And then I'll have a positive over here. So this becomes 0. I move the 7. Oh, sorry. Let's see if I can make that better. All right. The 7q comes down. And then it's equal to 9 plus 15, 24. And now we need this q with this one. And to keep it positive, and because we already have this on this side, I'm going to add the 5q to both sides. So now we have 12q is equal to 24. You divide by the 12 to get q all by itself. And q is equal to 2. Okay? All right, one more from a column. Did I do 5C15 already? Isn't that, we did 5C number 15 earlier, right? Yeah.
Can you say that again? You're glitching out.
Sorry, I was asked to do 5C number 15, but that's the one we did first. All right, anything else? All right, if nobody has anything, I'll let you go.
All right.
Thanks for signing on.
Thank you.
All
See
right.
you Monday.
Yes.
See you Monday.
Bye.
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 Bye.